Hello YouTube! So, in my video from yesterday, I don't quite know when I'm uploading this, but for me it's yesterday, I asked you guys if I should do a little E3 recap, and some people seem to be up for it, so yeah, I just decided to do it. Just know that this isn't a substitution for a lore video, so if you don't like to watch this kind of thing, just don't watch it, and just wait for my lore video, which will hit later this week. So, I'm gonna do a little recap and just give my opinions on the major announcements and on basically every conference. Yeah, the first conference was Microsoft. I have to say that I'm never really all that interested in the Microsoft conference. Must say that it was definitely interesting, considering they announced their new console, or at least announced that they were going to bring a new console, which was basically obvious and we already knew about it, but they shared some details, and my technical skill set is a little bit too small to really understand what they announced, but from some people I heard that it was pretty impressive, but then again other people that I know that are self-dubbed tech experts, they were pretty underwhelmed by it. So I don't quite know what to think of the whole Xbox Scarlet thing. I have to say that Halo Infinite, I haven't really played Halo all that much, but it seems to be interesting to Halo fans, and I think that's what matters. Like, I've never really played Halo, but I definitely enjoyed watching the trailer, and from what I've heard, Halo is always a sort of hit or miss franchise. Some are really good, and some are not all that great, so I hope that they at least nail this one for the fans, because I know that the franchise has a lot of fans. Then there was the Obsidian Studios game that a lot of people were pretty interested in. I have to say that I haven't watched any analysis of it. I've just watched the trailer that I've seen. For the people that don't know, Obsidian is the developer of Fallout New Vegas, by many considered the best Fallout. I don't quite know if I'm agreeing with that, to be honest, but that was mostly because of other reasons than the story, because the story was pretty great, and if we can see that from Obsidian in the future, then Outer Worlds, their new game, well, definitely it piqued my interest. I have to say that the thing I was a bit worried about, but something which was disputed by other people I talked about with it, was that Outer Worlds seemed to be on the Bethesda engine, on the creation engine, or at least I thought that from the animations that I saw. Some people were really doubting that, and they said it was probably a completely different engine that just seemed alike. But if it's the same engine, then the first buggy Bethesda game to come out wouldn't even be from Bethesda, then it would be the Outer Worlds game. But we can definitely expect some great things from that game, I think. Yeah, another thing that I found really funny from the Microsoft conference was a Minecraft Dungeons game. I hadn't really expected that announcement. A friend of mine said that it was basically rumored that some sort of Minecraft spin-off in the dungeon style would be coming, but still I didn't really see it coming, and I have to say that I'm not really all too interested in it, but you know, fun I guess. And then of course the big hitter of the whole conference that a lot of people were very excited about, with Keanu Reeves coming on stage, Cyberpunk 2077. I have to say I've never really been a really big Cyberpunk fan, but from what I've seen it looks pretty great, and I know that a lot of people are really hyped about it, and if I know anything, then CD Projekt Red is a great studio, and that game is gonna be absolutely great. Yeah, I think I might even play it, even though it's not really my genre, just because it looks quite good. We haven't seen too much gameplay yet, I think, but from what I've seen, at least from the trailers, I mean, it looks like a really good game, so yeah. Another really fun thing for me to see during the Microsoft conference, I didn't really understand why they would show this at E3, because it isn't really a game, I guess. Microsoft Flight Simulator, that it's coming to Xbox. I just found that funny, and yeah, I don't know, I like planes, so, you know, that's cool. Something else that I know that a lot of people were hyped about was Age of Empires 2 Definitive Edition. I remember that one of my friends was just completely hyping in our WhatsApp chat about, oh my god, Age of Empires 2 Definitive Edition is coming, and yeah, that was pretty cool. I always have the feeling that Age of Empires is one of those games that you play as a child, or at least as like a teen, and then if you've played it in that era of your life, just like Pokemon, then you'll like it for the rest of your life. But if you've never really played it before that, then you'll never really get into it. So, I don't know, it's not really my cup of tea, but I really like it from what I've seen, that, or at least I like it that people like it. Now, Gears 5 is coming. Looked pretty good from the trailer, I think. Also, this is gonna be one of those videos where I'm just gonna say I've never really played it, but I can very much appreciate it, and Gears 5 is the same. But then again, I heard from a lot of people, well, it was basically a given that they would do another, another Gears. I mean, it's one of their exclusive franchises. Then one game that I was really strangely interested in is Lego Speed Champions in the Forza Horizon engine. Now, it's going to be a DLC for Forza Horizon 4. I really like that for some reason. I don't know. As a child, as a really small child, I always played Lego Racers, and to see them make a sort of Lego Racers game in in the engine of one of the most serious racing games, Forza Horizon 4, I don't know. I was like unironically interested in it. It almost persuaded me to buy an Xbox. I don't know. It just looked so fun. I don't know. Just my kind of thing. Then something that I am pretty stoked about is Elden Ring. We didn't really get to see very much of it, but it's a collaboration between George R.R. Martin, who can write really great stories, and a collaboration between From Software, the makers of Dark Souls. And yeah, those are two pretty great things together, so I hope that this game is also going to be pretty great. That would be very cool. Then, of course, Borderlands 3. Still have to dip into Borderlands 2. I have it, but I've never played it. I have a really big backlog of games, but I know it's really great, and I think that I'll be pretty stoked for Borderlands 3 coming in September 13, if I've played Borderlands 2. So, yeah. That was basically all the big announcements for the Microsoft conference. Then there were, of course, like the smaller announcements like Wasteland 3, Lego Star Wars, the Skywalker Saga, and I mean, sure. I pretty much always liked the Lego games, but I think I'm by now a little bit too old for them or something, I don't know. I've played so much as a child that I'm now just exhausted of the type of gameplay, but I might even dip in it, I don't know yet, to be honest. Now, then for a lot of people, the biggest disappointment of all of E3, Bethesda. Oh boy. A lot of people didn't like Bethesda. But like their conference. They were really disappointed, but I mean, did we really expect it to be good this year? They already announced that Starfield and Elder Scrolls 6 would not be making an appearance on E3 this year, so what they did was basically what I expected, so I can't really say that I was disappointed. With what they announced, I was pretty glad. So, yeah, I don't know. They announced some new games, most notably Ghostwire Tokyo, which looks pretty good, I think. It's from the same creators of The Evil Within, and it looks promising, so I'm not really saying anything about it yet until I've a chance to see more of it at least. And then there was also Deathloop, which was like a game made by the Arcane Studios, which is responsible for the Dishonored series. And I know that the Dishonored series is really good, so I might even pick this up if it releases, but we don't have a release date yet, so yeah. We got more Doom Eternal footage, and I have to say, I'm not a Doom guy, but I really enjoyed Doom 2016 for what it was. Like, it's not my favorite game of all time or something, but this looked pretty good. This looked really good, and I've spoken to some people that are really big Doom fans, and they really like what they see with Doom Eternal, so I'm pretty happy with that. And I'm also pretty happy that it's coming to the Nintendo Switch. Like, people that know me personally know that I'm just a really big fan of my Switch, just being able to take my games everywhere. And they also know that I really like the Doom 2016 port to the Switch, which was made by Panic Button, one of the Wizard studios that basically just, I don't know how, but they port the current gen games to the Switch. How they do it, no idea, but I love them for it, and they're gonna do Doom Eternal as well. So even if I'm not really that much of a Doom guy, I'll definitely pick this up just out of the effort that they put in it. So yeah, that's something I'm definitely gonna enjoy, I think. Then I think they mentioned Rage 2 getting an expansion. Yeah, Rage is not my thing. But yeah, if it's your kind of thing, go for it. Then, of course, there were the Elder Scrolls announcements. You had the Elder Scrolls Online for the new Dragonhold story chapter that they revealed. Well, sort of revealed, they just talked about it. Yeah, that's cool. I like the fact that they're bringing more content to ESO, but most of you know that I don't know how I feel about them putting more dragons in Elder Scrolls games. Like, from what I've heard from Elder Scrolls Online elsewhere, the dragon story is pretty good, but I don't know. Dragons were kind of Skyrim's thing, if you get what I mean. The fact that they sort of shoehorned one into Blades and then also put them in elsewhere. I don't know if it's genuinely because they want to make a good story or just because they want to live off Skyrim's like dragon hype. Like people remember how great Skyrim was and then just be like, you know, we'll put dragons in this game and then it's gonna be good as well for people. I don't know. But yeah, we'll hear more later, I guess. Yeah, Fallout 76. It's getting a Battle Royale mode, so that's a thing now. I don't really understand how Bethesda wants to get redemption for Fallout 76. I know that they made it free for now, for like a week, or I don't know if it's done yet. I downloaded it actually, because I wanted to give it a chance. Because I've always been shitting on the game from what I saw, but I never played it because I was like, okay, I'm not gonna pay even a single penny for this game because it just doesn't really look good to me. I have to say, I enjoyed it more than I thought, but it's just boring, at least to me. I know that a lot of people like it because the world itself is pretty good, I guess. I say that very cautiously. The world itself is good, but it's just not Fallout. Like, it feels not really like Fallout because it's sort of boring, and at least the player base during the free trial, it was really toxic, at least to me, so I don't know, it's really not my thing. And I know that there's a lot of people that still enjoy the game, and to them I say more power to you, but not my thing, unfortunately. Then one of the most disappointing things for a lot of people, but something that was really, really, really good for me, was that the Elder Scrolls Blades is coming to the Nintendo Switch. And to be honest, I didn't care if it was the Switch or the PC, because I just wanted to play it on a game console or PC where I don't have frame drops, because my current phone, it's not really that strong. And there was a point where they released an update for it when it was playable, but right now the frame drops are just so bad again that I simply can't play it. I want to play it for the lore, I want to play it so I can make videos, but, you know, if you load into a level and then it's just frame drop, and then suddenly a troll is behind you and you're dead, I mean, that's unplayable, and that's currently what it is for me, so I can't make any videos on it, which is disappointing, to say the least, unfortunately. So, yeah, I have to say, it wasn't too bad of a conference. I must say that the audience there, it clapped so hard that I heard a lot of people conspiring on the internet saying Bethesda paid their people in the crowd. And considering the enormous enthusiasm from the crowd and the fact that I can't say no, that's definitely not the case, I don't know, man. I don't know. That crowd was a little bit too enthusiastic. I don't want to say that they paid for them, but I mean, I don't know. The announcements, it was a bit what I expected, but it wasn't that exciting that Bethesda should have gotten more applause than Microsoft, like which it did, because Microsoft at least had some really exciting announcements. And although I have to say, Doom Eternal was pretty great, so I guess that's what you could give a lot of applause for. But someone gave like a really, really loud applause at Fallout 76 and was like, what? This is Todd trying to seek redemption. But yeah, before I ramble on for too long, let's continue with Ubisoft. Yeah, Ubisoft, I don't know. It just kind of happened. I know that a lot of people were pretty stoked for Watch Dogs Legions, and I have to say, that looks very good. I don't want to say that I'm not interested in it, because I'm definitely interested in it, and the concept is really great, being able to recruit anyone for your little uprising. Like, literally every NPC that you see, you can basically recruit them into, like, the resistance. And the world looks pretty good, but I don't know, this has never really been my cup of tea. I mean, a lot of people know that I'm really nitpicky with what kind of games I like, and I just like fun in my games. And this looks like one of those really cool games, but I don't know how much fun I'll have playing it. And that will obviously vary from person to person, but from what I saw, I can really appreciate it from like a game designer's perspective, and the fact that they did something really different with the Watch Dogs series. Because I've played the first one, and then the second one, at least from what I've heard, was a little bit more of the same. And yeah, this seems to be very much different, and it looks pretty good, pretty good. Now, something I was very interested in, it was the game from the creators from Assassin's Creed Odyssey, Gods and Monsters. And no, not just because it's coming to the Switch, although that's part of my enjoyment, because then it means I can play it on the train. But this game, in terms of art style and in terms of just general atmosphere and story, and it just ticks all the right buttons for me. And it seems to be like an open world game, and it's a really good development team. So I have really high hopes for this game, and I hope not to be disappointed, because this looks really good. Yeah, that was Ghost Recon Breakpoint as well, I guess. I don't really have an opinion on that. This was pretty okay, I guess. And then there were some, mediocre announcements like Roller Champions. I mean, I can't really imagine anyone going, oh my god, Roller Champions, yeah, this is what I've been waiting for all the conference. I mean, it looks good, but it's a sports game, not really my thing. Yeah, Division 2 free to play now for a week, that's cool. Rainbow Six Quarantine, 3-player co-op game. I don't have friends, so Uplay Plus was very interesting that they announced that, I have to say. Like, everybody seems to just organize their own subscription services now, and although I have to say, I don't like paying monthly. I do like to be able to pay like 10 euros and then just basically binge for a month in games and just have access to a lot of games, so I guess that's cool, and I like the fact that we get the option to do it as long as it won't replace the current system where we can just buy games and actually have them. So yeah, that was also something I was really afraid of with Xbox Scarlet, that it wouldn't take physical games anymore, because people that know me know that I'm a really, really big fan of physical games, because I just want to own my games. Like, I don't want to have a license to use the game or to download the game. I just really physically want to own the game. And I was really afraid that Xbox Scarlet was going to be download only, and that it wouldn't support disc anymore. And while we don't have support of that, we know that Sony's PlayStation 5 will support physical media, meaning that at least for one more generation the death of physical media is stalled, which means that I can still play video games, because the day that physical media dies, I will officially die inside as well. Now next, Square Enix was pretty cool. I haven't watched it all. The Final Fantasy VII remake for a lot of people was the highlight. Never played Final Fantasy VII, but the remake looks pretty good, and I have to say, I might actually dip in this. And yeah, there were other announcements. Something that I was really, really disappointed with, but something that was very logical that it would happen, was Octopath Traveler, a really great Switch exclusive, is now no longer Switch exclusive. It's now available on PC after like a year. I guess it was Switch exclusive for long enough, but I don't know, I never like it when console exclusives get ported to other consoles. Like, that's their part of their competition. I mean, it's not just because I'm a Nintendo fan. I mean, obviously that stings a little, but in the same time, for example, when you see a Microsoft exclusive like Cuphead coming to the Nintendo Switch, I mean, of course I like the fact that more people will be able to play it, but I'm also like, I don't know how smart of a decision this was for the people that had that exclusive. And yeah, I don't know. I wouldn't really say that I'm all too much into elitism, like, oh, but I played it on the Xbox, so you can't possibly play it on the PlayStation. But I still feel like exclusives is kind of what makes the gaming industry interesting. I don't know, I'm probably in the very much minority of that, and that's okay. I mean, I'm just glad more people can play it, but at the same time I think that once everything is the same on every platform and there are no longer real exclusives, that there isn't really a point in picking a console anymore. And again, that can be good too, but I don't know. I don't really know what to think about it, to be honest. I started off really negative, and then when I started talking, I was like, this is actually pretty positive. So yeah, Dragon Quest Builders is also coming, Dragon Quest Builders 2. It's pretty cool. From what I've heard, at least a friend of mine is just completely stoked on Dragon Quest Builders, so that's cool. There's Dragon Quest 11S, the Switch port is finally coming. Definitely picking that up, because Dragon Quest 11 seems to be really good, and this Switch port seems to be built up from the ground, making it a real interesting thing for me, so, since it looked quite good. Yeah, don't really have much to say on it beyond that. Then they announced Final Fantasy 14 Shadowbringers, a new expansion, I believe. Looked pretty interesting. I guess I never really got into the Final Fantasy franchise, so sorry if I'm like upsetting people now. There was Dying Light 2, which looked pretty good. Spring 2020. Might pick it up, but not really my genre as well. Yeah, I don't know. There weren't really much announcements at Square Enix that really excited me a lot. I know that it was very interesting to a lot of people. For example, Marvel's Avengers. I mean, it looked very good. It looked like a really great game. But I don't know if it's my type of game. Just like there was also a Marvel game at the Switch conference, or well, Switch Direct. I don't know, just doesn't really interest me as well. But I know that a lot of people are into Marvel games, and more power to you, you know. It looks very good. Now, the highlight for me, as you probably guessed by now, was the Nintendo Direct. I know that a lot of people that watch my channel don't give a piss about Nintendo, which is why I did it last, so you could just like the video and quit now. But the Nintendo E3 was very good. It was about what I expected, but a little bit short of new announcements. But then again, they had so many announcements to share. There are so many games announced that they hadn't shared anything on yet, that I was okay with it. I was okay with the fact that they basically showed what games that they did announce were about, instead of showing a lot of new games. So yeah, there were 2 Smash Bros characters announced, the hero from Dragon Quest, which I guess, and Banjo-Kazooie, someone that a lot of people wanted in Smash, to be honest. Just like with Age of Empires, I never really grew up playing Banjo-Kazooie, so I couldn't really care less. But I know that it was a real big deal to a lot of people, and I'm just happy that it's coming, because that means that more people will enjoy the game for what it is, and they will have another character to play that they at least like. So I'm really happy with that. Then there's Luigi's Mansion 3. That looks so good. To be honest, it seems to be the best of 1 and 2 combined in one game. I love it. Like, Luigi's Mansion 3, that's gonna be a definite day 1 buy for me. Then there was also Link's Awakening remake. The original Game Boy game is gonna be remastered, or at least we already knew that was gonna happen. It's really, with a really interesting sort of toyish art style, and I really like that as well. I don't know, I really enjoy Zelda games. 2D Zelda games a little bit less than the 3D ones, but this one definitely looks good, and actually I've already pre-ordered the collector's edition, so yeah, I guess I'm a weep now. Then there's, the biggest surprise, at least for me, for the whole conference. No, that's not true. That's absolutely not true. The end was the biggest surprise for me, but one of the biggest surprises was that the Switch was getting a port of The Witcher 3. I don't know how they're gonna get it to run on the thing, but yeah, I'm definitely gonna pick that up, because I never picked The Witcher 3 up. I played it at some friend's house. I really enjoyed it, but I always felt like, I don't know if my PC can run it properly. By now I know that my PC can, but I just never really bothered picking it up. But if it's coming to Switch, it means I can play it on the train, so I'm definitely gonna pick that up. By the way, something that I'm really wondering, and something that, if you're gonna comment on anything under this video, please tell me this, what I'm gonna ask you now. Why is everybody just hating on ports coming to Switch? Like, if you don't like it coming to Switch, don't buy it. Like, don't buy it. Just why be salty about it? Just like people that are, you know, it's gonna look very terrible on the Switch. And yeah, I realize that. If you buy a Switch, you basically know that you're trading in graphics for portability. So why would you, as an Xbox player that already has the game and played it, why would you be salty about it if more people can play it in their preferred way? Like, I don't know. I guess it's just elitism or something, but I don't know. Yeah, it's not really a big of an issue, but I'm just wondering why people are just hating on it for some reason. Yeah, something that CD Projekt Red shared after the whole announcement was that the game would be running in 720p on the big screen, and if you take it on the go, it's gonna run in 540p. A lot of people have been shitting on that as well, like, oh, it's not even HD. But the Doom port basically did the same, and that was a really great port. And on the small screen, you don't really see the fact that it's 540p. Like, of course, if you're a real graphics whore or something, then you'll definitely see it. But I mean, at least it's just fully playable. So at least if the frame rate's any stable, then I'm definitely picking this one up. Yeah, Astral Chain. A lot of people that are very interested in this game. It's a Switch exclusive from the makers of Bayonetta. It looks good, but just like a lot of things in this video, it's not my thing. So I don't know. Resident Evil 5 and 6 are coming to Switch. That's pretty great. I know that 5 is really great. I know that 6 is not as great. Resident Evil, not really my thing. But I know that a lot of people are really happy about the fact that they can play it on it. So yeah, more power to them. Mario and Sonic on the Olympic Games 2020. Cool. Like, yeah, not my thing as well, but I know that a lot of people like the Mario and Sonic games, and I know that the mini games look pretty good. I know that someone that I know basically looked at the trailers and it was like, yeah, this looks like a good game, better than the previous games, at least. But I guess they had to, because, I mean, the 2020 Olympics are in Tokyo, Nintendo's Japanese, that kind of thing. So yeah. And then Animal Crossing. It got delayed to 2020, but what I've seen looked really good. Like, I haven't really been into Animal Crossing all that much ever since Wild World on the DS. But this looks genuinely great. I bought New Leaf, which is basically the most recent one on the 3DS secondhand a few months ago, and I liked it, but it didn't really give to enough new things, in my opinion, while this is just completely new, a complete sort of reimagining. So I think I'll be picking this up. I think I will. And then the last and well, just for me at least, the best announcement: The Legend of Zelda Breath of the Wild is getting a story sequel, and holy cow. I've been notorious in my friend group for not really liking Breath of the Wild. Breath of the Wild is a great game from my game designer's perspective, and the gameplay is really solid, but oh man, I had wished for so much more story. The story was so lacking and so short. Like, that was enough to do, like the shrines and all the little puzzles, and it was good. It was a genuinely good game. Like, don't think that I think it's a bad game, but I think it had so much more potential. And I have hope that this sequel, because at least it looked like it, that this sequel is gonna make its potential, at least to some degree. Because this sequel looks like it's more story driven, it looks like it's more dark, and that's exactly what I want in my Zelda games, so I'm really stoked for this. I really, like, I just want to keep on living until this comes out. So I guess I'm just gonna eat healthy from now on, just to make sure that I'm alive when this releases. So yeah, little knock on wood there to make sure I don't jinx it for myself. Alright, I think that was a recap of E3. I know that a lot of people aren't really interested in Nintendo, but I definitely am, so I just wanted to talk about it. I know that very little people will even watch this video to the end, but since some people found it interesting, I just decided to kind of do it. Yeah. Hope you enjoyed it, and see you in the next lore video. Bye bye.